Alright, DJ Nuts. Yes, this is the fourth video of the coding in the Valley of Despair. Gonna be continuing the OAuth2 project I'm working on, and haven't done anything since the last video, so we're exactly where we left off. I do need to update, make sure my code is updated, so let me go ahead and update. And if you haven't started using a version control system, I suggest you go ahead and start doing that, either if it's Git or Subversion. I'm still using Subversion. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just a server has a bunch of projects on it, and I just hadn't gotten around to doing a Git conversion, but then it works with our workflow, so it's fine. Today's music is by Creative Commons Music on SoundCloud. Just check out the link in the description. And that's yeah, lots of I'll keep on trying to find more music. I'm trying to contact some channels on SoundCloud to get some other kind of music. I'll probably be unsuccessful till I get more subscribers, but that's a whole nother issue. So let's continue. Today's goal is to because we were able to successfully get the retry based on failed refresh. But what else needs to happen is, if we do a retry and that retry fails, then what we need to do is consider we need to force a login, so an actual full login using username and password, and then that will if that succeeds, then everything's good. But then if that fails, then we throw a complete failure, because that will be meaning that the user has changed their password for whatever reason, and so we'll just need to handle that. So we'll see if we can get this done in about an hour or less. It shouldn't take that long, since we already have a technique for retrying taken care of. So alright, so here I go here. So first, let's go ahead and think this should work. I'm hoping. I believe this code is from my I think I did that last video at my office, so not sure if this code will work. Let's see here. Let's do run as node application, and let's see what we get here. It's validating all kinds of stuff down there. I don't know what's going on. Alright, so while it validates, I think that's the common theme. When I click on something in these videos, Clips chooses to go onto a validation spree. So let me find the retry code here. Here we go, some problems. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I don't know what that is, so. And do I care? No. I just want it to run. So let's try this again. Let's do main.js here. There we go. Logged into the core. You're gonna continue to do this. Legal state and kind of problem. View the details. And let's just view these details, since it insists on popping this up. Send what? What is your problem? Is it a problem with the current project I have open? That's all I care about. But it probably is not. It just wants to be seen. It just wants to be heard. That's all. Whatever. Alright, let's see if it does it again. Because if it does this every time, yeah, it's on some all other stuff right now. But anyway, now there we go. So we have valid token. All right, success and body. So that's a successful try. So I mean retry. So what we want to do is we want to do an expired token. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop up my MySQL. I know some of y'all be like MySQL. Do you boo boo? Don't talk about how I talk about stuff. Anyway, yeah, but everybody has their ways of saying things and they want to correct people, and it's like you got people who say Ubisoft and Ubisoft, and you got Ubisoft coming in and correcting the whole record, saying that it is Ubisoft because it's from Ubiquitous Software. And alright, sorry for my ramblings. It's not really early, it's late for me, but I slept in a little bit and still waking up. Alright, so you got, let's see here, we got our sessions, and then we have our let's see here, slide this to its own little land here. There we go. Alright, so here's our refresh tokens. Let's just sit here and look at our refresh tokens here. So, and then we're also going to do a refresh token that doesn't exist error as well. So that'll be an easy one. So here's all our refresh tokens. And let me find our refresh token that we have, which is here. So I haven't done any queries before. They're very, like, after you've learned them, they're not that hard to kind of get. Just kind of say, trying to select everything from this particular database and table. And if you didn't want to use the actual database, this one is BBC. If you don't want to use that, you can actually get rid of that. And then if you are using MySQL Workbench, you set this as the, where are you at? Set as default schema, and then therefore you don't have to use that. It is best to do that, and then best to, when you're writing your queries, get in the habit of doing that, so that if you decide to copy and paste, and the database name changes, you won't be wondering why your queries are failing. You also get in the habit, even though Workbench doesn't do this, get in the habit of putting a little comment accents there, and that'll also save you some grief as well. So what I'm gonna do is gonna say select everything from OAuth refresh tokens where, and we're gonna say refresh token equals, and alright, so as you can tell, these are different things. Why? I don't know. Why do I do it? It's just because over the years I think I got so many errors, and you know, some things I try to learn why they are, some things I don't. Hit the lightning bolt, and there you go. So here's our expired. This thing's a date field. I'm just gonna put a 0 in here and apply, and it'll show you your query. And this is the cool thing about Workbench, is when you do some crazy stuff or you want to do some updates, it'll pop this query window up, and then you can actually read it and learn how to do SQL queries if you don't want to go through and actually read how to write queries. So apply, close. Alright, so now you see we got a bunch of goose eggs there, and there it is. So now that will mean that this refresh token will expire. So I'm gonna keep that refresh token up here, over here for later use. Now we have a successfully expired token, just like this one is expired access token. We have an expired refresh token that we're going to use throughout this tutorial. Now, if you are interested in how to set up a local host setup and things like that, which is what I'm running here, I'm running a local host install of MySQL and MySQL Workbench, also with PHP and Apache. So just put in the comments if you would like to see that happen, and I will go through that, because once you set that up once, you really don't need to set it up anymore. So let's continue. So let me find, here's our retry here. So it does the invalid token, and then it will let's see here, refresh token. So here we go. So this is where it calls the refresh token, and then it says, all right, so we get the token info, and then we request new token. All right, so if we refresh to new token, find, all right, so request token, success, failure, and if that's okay. And I know for a few, I mean, I'm sure someone did not watch this thing back to back, because I know these videos are an hour long, but sometimes it takes me a minute to remember what I was thinking of things. So we refresh the token here. So we refresh. So request new token. We request new token. Okay. And the reason why I'm hopping around is because right now our success and failure is set to nothing. So we come here and I think I did that. Okay. So I did this for the express purpose of knowing that I was gonna come back and deal with a success and failure situation. Alright, so that's what I need to know. So what I need to happen is on success, even though on success it goes and it redoes the query, not the query, see I'm in MySQL mode in mine, it redoes the request. And what I'm trying to figure out, I know we did the buffer before, I'm trying to remember where it is, because we do it's a prototype, so on console, so E response. See, that's my 401. So request error handler, valid token. That comes down here. So refresh the token. Request new token. Alright. Oh, I know what I did. Okay. I'll tell you why I was confused. Trying to see. This is request new token. I was just trying to see where I had the buffer actually being called. There it is. Nope, that's it. Where's the buffered? See, sometimes up that and this is and yeah, I'm sure if I would have commented my code, I wouldn't be having this issue. So yes, comment your code. Usually I don't have to go through this here, but I'm wasting a lot of time. I'm probably gonna wind up. All right, and all success, auth failure. So where is? See, this is one thing about not having an outline. This is probably so we got auth failure, DBR, recent request. Okay, there it is. All right, so I was just wondering where that was, and then recent request grabs it from the buffer. Okay, that's what I was looking for, and making sure that this success and failure not there. There is success and failure when I specify that in the request new token. I'm not interrupting something, and then I'll be searching for an error that I caused myself. So once again, and yeah, I apologize for this having to hop back and forth because I don't, as I explained in the previous videos, the oh come on. The I don't, the outline doesn't show. It only shows when you are making functions and methods and stuff without prototypes. So that's, I don't know, inside of Eclipse, that's just I think that's a pretty huge oversight. And I haven't tried to see if IntelliJ fixes that issue. But you know what I'm trying to do is make sure that these tutorials are accessible to anybody who wants to code and doesn't have the money to have a IntelliJ. All right, let's see, and let me correct that. IntelliJ, there is a community edition, but it's only Java. It won't support like JavaScript, PHP. You have to pay. You can either, I think it's either monthly or you can pay annually for that. So anyway, let's continue. Now that I know that if I come here to request new token, if I have a success and I have a failure, these will be called, but it doesn't interrupt the resend if on success. So we're only going to be worried about the failure. So let's do this here. So what we're going to do is we have the refresh token that we're going to send in, and we're going to override that to make sure that it is expired. So let's go here, and we're going to just go ahead and grab that. So this will ensure that we are sending an expired token into the server, which will give us a fantastic error. So let's go ahead and test our fantastic error. Let's go and run main. And now, so we don't get an error. So what I'm gonna do here is see what's going on. Fresh token. Alright. And let's see here. Okay. Access token is provided is invalid, so I guess something was cached or something like that. That's fine. Let's see here. So we're gonna do, so this token is invalid. So we are getting an error, which is great. And so what we want to do is handle the error. So now if we receive a fail inside of the request, that means that the token is invalid. So now what I would probably suggest is we're not going to have this. We're not going to have this handle the actual. We're not going to have this handle the request for a. Well, shoot, man, I can't even get my words out this morning. We're not going to have this handle auto login or anything like that. That will, I think what we'll do is, let's see here, we got a call back here, we do a request, actually yeah, maybe so. Let's just go ahead and we have failure, and we see that it passes, so we don't need to do anything here. We have a failure R, and I think that's actually coming all the way out. I don't know if this is being seen here. Let me see here. So let me come down here. Because the request, I'm trying to think of the best way to handle this. Let me see. Down here. Alright, so we got an invalid token, but we're not handling it anyway, so we try. Alright, so what I want to do is on failure, we want to call this the actual request success failure, it's failure callback. So we'll do that. So we'll go up here. And the way that we're gonna do that is we're still gonna have it call the failure there, but I believe if we just grab it from the buffer, so if we say if, and let me see how the buffer is, we'll just grab it like here. So we'll check and say the buffer failure is not equal to undefined. Then we'll go ahead and call that with the response. Okay, so we'll run that. Failure is undefined on 115, and that's because it's nested deep. So we'll do this. I'm gonna really do a video on exploring arrow functions and promises on JavaScript a node to see if this will eliminate the need for this. But that's a whole nother video. So let me try this. And 116, so it looks like that's there. I should have did that right away. Alright. See, now we get the failed and the failed here, which is great. So now that we get the failed response, I think we need to actually do make sure that this response is bundled correctly. So we have failed, but it's not sending any information, I believe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see what is coming out. Console log, what are you? And then just sending the R and see what we get. And should be able to hit F12 to run, I believe. But so who are you? All right, so we see we got the body of the error status code and stuff like that. So I believe what needs to happen is, alright, so that's coming in like that. Alright, let's let's parse some JSON real quick here. And yeah, it's early in the morning. And when you switch languages, you tend to forget what does what. So I know there's already got a bit of code in here. How about JSON? There it is. Because I know I got JSON through this whole thing. JSON parse. And usually I'd start typing in autocomplete. But I don't think that's actually going to be happening for me today because of working in this prototype. So let's see if it does it. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, there's no autocomplete. So this is seriously like the Wild Wild West of I don't know if I can. So I don't know if the body is actually working or what. Let's see. The help is early. Okay, so alright, so that is an object. So we can send the whole. Alright, I think I'm just gonna wind up sending the whole R up because that contains everything that's needed. Because we have let's bring the whole error up here. So this is what we have it set to do. So we have it set for the body, which is this that needs to be parsed, and then we have a status code. So and I believe we'll be keeping this format throughout the whole connection here. So my thought is we'll get the body of the error, and let's see here, and then that can be handled. But then when we send, okay, so this is our status code. And then what is I here? This doesn't have an I. We're going to go, so we're going to use r dot body, and this is outside of the application, so this would be up to the how the developer chooses to handle this at this point. I could parse it. That makes more sense if I did that. So let's do the developer solid here. and we're gonna leave the body in there, but we're gonna add a few extras in here. So, because I don't want to have any extra work on the dev. So let's do let's see here. Let's do bar. That's one thing here. Let me check something here. So what I'm doing now is one of the things I really have not gotten in the habit of doing is figuring out when to use let versus var. This is unlike the var here, which defines variables globally and or low. All right, our function. Okay. so let is the scope is just in the block statement or expression, and unlike var, which is okay. So this is variably okay. So it's the variables globally or locally to an entire function, regardless of block scope. All right. So explain what that means if you're not sure what that means. So basically what that's saying is, which at this point I need this to be let. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna do let and I'll explain what's happening here. So let, and we'll just call this trying to think of a good variable name. Return. Let's just say R JSON. All right. So we're going to take that and we're going to say JSON dot parse R dot body. All right. All right. So and so we say so now we have that. And then we're going to do R dot, and we know we have an error, so we're going to add error in here, equals R dot error, R JSON dot error. Alright, and we're going to do R dot error description, and I'm sure I could have did this a little different way, but you know. As I said, if you got any suggestions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm not trying to say that I am the expert at any of this. I just do it, bang it out till it works. So, alright, so what this is saying is let, as far as variable scope is, it only applies to inside of this if statement, this block here. Now if I did var inside of here and then I did something outside of this, it would come up undefined. So, and it only needs to apply to the scope here, whereas these, it's complete. Even though I could use let inside of here, since everything's kind of out here, but I'm doing var here just because it's all within this function scope here. So we're just going to keep that where it is. But if I made this let, then we'll have some other issues. And I'll probably do an experiment just to kind of get myself in the habit of doing that. But anyway, so now with that said, let's see. I got these things written down. So now R should have an error and also should have error description. And just for my sanity check, because sometimes I have my dyslexic moments and that really does not work as a programmer. So, and for real, used to have issues with I think everybody has a little bit of dyslexia in them, but for me, I'll swap letters and all kinds of stuff, so I have to read stuff multiple times. So, all right, now let's run this. All right, not supported yet. All right. Alright, see, so outside of strict mode. So there you go. So me, this is why I yeah. Let's rock with the var. So I was, you can use it. I gotta understand more about strict mode. We're not gonna learn that today. I think it might be kind of like the equivalent of like coding something in PHP with errors on, I guess, where you just kind of making sure everything is super straight. All right. Anyway, so there's our return. We added some stuff in with our R. Oh no, we didn't. Let's check here. Alright, let me see here. This is object. Undefined one. Undefined where? Unexpected token O. Where? On 32. JS 32. Oh, that was me causing issues. Alright. We don't want to parse this. We want to just see it. Alright, try again. Alright, so there we go. So we have the body, we have the status code, we have the actual error and the error description. So therefore, if the dev wants to go ahead and just have the body, they have access to the body, but we'll go ahead and parse that anyway. And sure, there's probably, we're not gonna figure this out today. I'm probably sure there's a way just to parse it and just dump that stuff right into the other variable, but that's an adventure for another day. All right, so we have that. We don't need this anymore, and so now we know that it failed, and it was already going to throw a fail, but now we know why it failed, and the user can the dev can actually handle that error, because they don't want to do too much for them. Because now if they sit here and they get an invalid grant, I mean, documentation on the server should say you will receive an invalid grant. If the you get an invalid refresh token, and therefore they can log in. If the login fails, because we're gonna actually have to do a login, so if the login fails, then you'll handle the login. So we don't have to do too much extra code. So I believe that's done. I think we're done here. So console. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this. Like I said, you can make it as complicated as you want, but if you do too much hand holding, I mean, somebody might be like, well, I wanted to do this. Why do you have it doing this? I don't want it to do that. And it's locked away inside of this code here. And somebody's not going to go in and modify this code because, when you do an update, you're effectively like killing their code. So I don't want to do too much hand holding here. So we'll let them handle that outside. And, so now we're back to where we are. Let's see. All right, so that works. So now we're good. And eventually I'll come in here and I'll comment these codes, what they do, since it's getting a little, usually it's not getting confusing, but it'll be a little faster. All right, so I think we got it done in a shorter amount of time. And think here, so we got that. Refresh tokens. Alright. Well, once again, if you've stuck around to the end, I know you're bored. And that's a wrap on the next one. I think what I'm going to try to do is going to actually cover the actual login process, and we're going to start doing some hopefully some node stuff, not node, but Electron. Try to figure out what's next. I just want to make sure that I have my bases covered. But we'll basically use this package here and start an Electron project, so that will log in and pull down some information from the server and hopefully just display that. And that's going to be from an empty file, so we'll be starting right from scratch. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe. If you don't like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. That lets me know how to improve. Leave your comments in the comments section. Complain about my code and my lack of comments. That'll be okay. Later.